Oh my gosh, this is a really, really special episode that we have to talk about. EvilJeff. EvilJeff, where are you? I need you.
There is no EvilJeff. There's only Wiccan. What? Why would you bring up Wiccan, a character that doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about? Or does it?
What a reveal. Maybe the best reveal ever. But
oh,
EvilJeff,
wait, I have someone else that wants to join us today.
Oh, thank you.
Mom?
She doesn't like you.
So we said we each had to bring a guest, so I brought Wanda. Who did you bring?
That's right. Well, we need to, in order to walk the witch's road, I'm glad you brought a Scarlet Witch. We also need a bisexual. So I was hoping that you would encant with me.
You have to have a bisexual, especially with this damn show.
You have to help me summon one.
Okay, well, how about let's have some sexy music and we'll do the summoning spell.
Okay, we'll do the summoning spell. Yes.
Okay. Ooh. Is there words we have to say?
There are.
Down bisexual road.
Down bisexual road. Down the bisexual road.
Yeah.
Down the bisexual road. Down the bisexual. I think it's working.
Road.
I think it's working.
Really?
I think. Oh my goodness! It's Jamie Jirak. Oh!
How did I get here? What happened?
It worked.
We summoned you.
Jamie, we summoned you. We're going to walk down the Agatha All Along Episode 5, Witch's Road. Will you join us?
I would be honored to do so. Wow. Thank you so much.
Everybody, please welcome Jamie from the Love and the Time of HYDRA pod. Now let's start the show. And hello. Hello. For those of you who've been listening to the show back in like the aughts, Jamie was on our show a long time ago. I think we're talking in the double digits, Jamie.
2018. It would have been 2018. Yeah.
It would have been 2018. Wow. It would have been right after you hosted the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode 100 panel.
Yes, that was it. That was that. I can't believe that was 6 years ago. Time is crazy.
Time is crazy, as Lilia Calderu can attest. Yes. Jamie, we're so happy to be here to talk about our favorite show, Agatha All Along. There it is.
Agatha All Along.
We have Jamie on. EvilJeff and I are going to take a deep dive into everything that happened on episode 5 of Agatha All Along because she was a short one, but she was denser than we think.
Oh, but also this gave reveals that I thought weren't going to happen till like the end of the series.
And jumped
instead
ahead.
It happened right in the middle. And you're
right in the middle.
Oh, okay.
And somebody already is feeling himself. Okay, we'll get there. But it opens with a previously on, and there's something about the previously on that I wanted to bring up. So yes, we go back to WandaVision. We see Agatha's origin story about the time she kind of inadvertently killed her coven. We also see the line of Alice Wu Gulliver saying, "I feel lighter," in her trial in the Suspiria house last episode. It happens before the curse is lifted. Any theories on why she says, "I feel lighter," and why they showed that this week in the previously?
That's really interesting. I didn't watch the previously on because I just felt like I didn't need to. And now I feel like I had.
It's all right here. It's all up here.
Wait, who said that? Who said
Alice.
that again? Oh, Alice said that. I think that was just trying to show you. I think they just wanted to show you that not only did she battle the curse demon, I think that meant her curse was lifted.
She says it before the curse is lifted, but I wonder, is she always carrying that demon on her shoulders prior to, was it always
Well, that's the thing.
there?
All the scars are from it like its talons in your shoulders.
So I think I'm realizing
So
now
dramatic.
that she was walking around with an invisible demon perched on top of her shoulders. And then when it flew up to like start hitting everyone else, she was like, oh, I feel lighter.
Yeah.
Which is
So
wild.
it's always been
That's
there.
crazy.
It's always there.
And why did they show us that? Like, maybe it was just to remind us, because she does have a huge moment of using her power. So,
Yeah.
like, maybe it was like a random moment, but it does feel significant now.
It does.
Now I got it. Now I'm thinking. Now I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, because of what happens with her character, it also could be related to that. Also, just letting all viewers know, we spoil the fuck out of this.
Oh,
Comic Book Queers
please.
is not a spoil free. We are a spoil full zone. And I think before we Brett is just going right into the nitty gritty, but I just would like to talk a little bit to just Jamie, how
Broad?
are you feeling about the show?
Yes.
Oh.
I want to know, as someone who's coming in, everyone knows that we love it, but what do you think of this show?
I love it so much. Every week it's like, this was made for me, just like WandaVision felt like it was made for me. And
Yes.
I'm just like I'm on basically a podcast tour, and it would not have felt right if I didn't get to join Comic Book Queers, because I mean, Brett, you're just one of my favorite people. I even did homework.
Same.
I read the entire.
Oh,
I read
look.
all of the Children's Crusade today, just to be prepared to be on Comic Book Queers today. So
for you audio listeners, Jamie is holding up a hard copy of Avengers Children's Crusade, which I think is something we could talk about maybe at the end of the show.
Yes. What's the significant X-Man thing that happens in the event? I'm going to test Brett really quick. What's the significant thing that happens that doesn't have anything to do with the Young Avengers, but has to do with the X-Men, with a certain gay character? That's where Richter gets his powers
Richter gets his powers back because Wanda says, I can try to reverse the spell. And
he's
it
like
works
the
on
guinea
Richter.
pig.
It's so weird that like X Factor Investigations is such a big part of Children's Crusade.
Yeah. I miss X Factor.
I do too.
Remember when he impregnated Siren with his dupe and then absorbed the baby right after she gave birth?
Mm-hmm.
I need plots like that again.
Yeah.
But I'm getting them in Agatha All Along.
Yes, we are. So Jamie is loving the show, and that's why we are loving having Jamie on.
Love it.
Is it nitty-gritty time?
Yes, now we can get into the nitty-gritty.
I love it. So the title of this episode is Darkest Hour, Wake Thy Power, and I think we all understand how that title came to life by the end of the show.
Yes.
Each episode is different verses. Is anyone else playing the game of now which verses are going to apply to which episode or which couplets? And
I haven't been thinking about it.
I'm trying not to spoil myself because it definitely feels like it will spoil you because it kind of just gives things away. So 100%. I don't want to be spoiled.
Yeah. So we open with the Salem 7 as their animal familiars transforming, they're morphing, their animorphs, essentially.
Yeah. They just finished making a Lady Gaga video.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're like, let's go kill Agatha.
Can I just talk about how cunty they are for a second?
Mm-hmm.
They're cunty.
How did they get to the road?
Oh, they say it.
The door.
Oh, they do?
Lilia says when they summoned Rio, they left it open.
Rio, they brought that. Oh, they left a door open for them to come
Yes.
Right.
So Lilia has the vision that they're coming. And she says, God damn it, we didn't shut the door behind Rio.
Yes. And we're also revealed of who they are. They are the children of the witches that Agatha killed back in WandaVision.
Yeah. Jamie, what do we think about that? And does it hit upon any broader themes of the show?
You know, I knew this, so, like, I don't know how I knew this. Like, they must have announced it at some point. Like, I think at the premiere, all 7 of them were, like, hanging out together, and they were, like, the daughters. And because I'm, like, when it was revealed in the show, I'm, like, why would I know that? I like, somewhere along the line, they revealed this information. But I think it's cool. I think there's a lot of, like, parentage through-line stuff going on here. And I do think it's interesting. But, okay, 7, did she kill 7 people?
I guess so.
If so, wouldn't one of these have to be like a sibling of Agatha's? If they're all the children, because one of the 7 was Agatha's mother.
Was her
Agatha's
mom.
Mother?
Well,
Yeah.
that's why I also feel that I was convinced, although this episode plays against this theory, but in the comic books, the Salem Seven show up and kidnap Franklin Richards and Agatha in the comics. And in the end, she reveals that one of the Salem Seven, the one that sacrifices himself so she doesn't get burned at the stake, is her son, not Nicholas Scratch, but just another son, I guess, because I guess she was a slut. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway,
She's been around a long time.
but that's what I am curious. I was thinking maybe Nicholas Scratch is one of the Salem Seven. I was wondering if that could be a reveal.
Interesting.
Okay.
One question I have about the Salem Seven is they find this object off the ground. Did anyone register what that black rock diamond thing that they picked up and used to trail them was? This is so nitpicky, but it's just driving me crazy.
Was there anything like that in the Multiverse of Madness?
I don't know.
Oh, I just rewatched it too, and I like this object does seem kind of familiar. I feel like there's an obvious answer that we're just not seeing.
Yeah, I think like it's on a rewatch, it'd be like, oh, it's
a symbiote. No, I don't know.
It's Venom.
God. Because Teen said he dropped something, but I thought this is what he dropped, but he dropped his like little book. Is what
his little book, and he did it while they were flying.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah, so I don't know. This one lost
but
me.
maybe that is Rio's black heart.
That's literally what I was about to say. Like, maybe.
Mm-hmm. I did see a tarot card where it was the death tarot card that I think maybe showed up in the show somewhere, where the death figure does look like Rio. In one hand, the figure has Rio's dagger. In the other hand is an actual black heart as an object. EvilJeff, I think you just landed on it.
Okay. Because that's the other thing is some people are saying that black heart, is it really Rio or is it really Teen? Is Teen the black heart? Because he wants to replace and be in the coven on the road.
Interesting.
Wow. I want to add that the death poster you're talking about, the tarot card poster, I really want that as a tattoo, but I don't really believe in tarot, so I feel like I'd be a poser, but I really like it for this.
But you believe in Aubrey Plaza.
You know what? Here, I read tarot cards and I don't even believe it that much. So it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
They're still cool.
They're
just have a little underneath the tattoo, just be like, but not really, or something. Like have a little thing on the bottom.
Oh, you know what? Put for ages 3 and up.
There's no way Ouija is 3 and up. I'm sorry. There's no way. Ouija has to be.
That was hilarious.
That was hilarious. All right, so they're being chased by the Salem Seven.
Then they have their ET moment.
And they have their ET moment, which is already suggesting the decade we're in. We will be in for this episode.
Is anyone bothered that it's not like Agatha went through time, like 50s, then 60s, then 70s? These are just willy-nilly going all over the place. Does that bother anybody?
EvilJeff, you know how I feel.
It only bothered me that it went like random, like whatever the housewives they were doing, then 70s to 80s. Like what? Like it did bother me that now they're in an order because they weren't already in an order. If that makes sense.
Yeah. It'd be like it kind of like was like present and then 70s and then 80s and then is it going to be? I'm curious if we all know there's going to be a Wizard of Oz type one. Mm-hmm. I wonder at what point if that's the next episode or not.
Yeah, I also wonder if it's like Jamie. I was lamenting last week that I'm upset that they aren't being very strict with the prestige TV parody rule. Whereas, like, first you can argue you had Mayor of Easttown, and then you had Big Little Lies, and then somebody is like, but then they did Partridge Family, or then they did Daisy Jones and the Six, and I'm like, okay. But then I think in this one we're clearly in a TV show again, which we'll talk about.
Interesting, because I kind of saw it as once Agatha of Westview was over, it wasn't in TV mode anymore.
They let go of TV.
Yeah, and I guess you're right. Like, although the idea of like, I didn't watch Daisy Jones and the Six, but the idea of like all this 70s stuff and it's that show is like kind of wild to me because like, no, it's like you said, the Partridge Family. That's what's going on in my brain. But maybe you're right. But I do think I know what. I'm curious what 80s show you're going to talk about.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. My problem was it's not so much that it needed to be a TV show, but just more how Wanda went through the times in order. I felt like thematically it should mimic that.
Yeah.
But that's small. We're nitpicking.
Of course. I like a game with strict rules, but they're having a little bit more fun than I would allow. So
wait,
so
are you
good.
saying that the 80s, when they get to the house, you think that's based on a TV show and not a movie?
I do think it's based on a TV show.
Okay, I thought it was a movie.
Let's talk first about the look that Agatha gives Rio while they're flying. What's your read?
Well, it's just like, remember when we used to fly and then we would land and scissor each other? That was just like,
remember that time we made love on a broomstick?
Yeah, and then I just killed a bunch of ladies and sucked up their power, and then we just drank wine and blood and did other things that lesbian witches do.
Jamie,
in the 1800s.
Jamie, you have it's an understatement to say that you have feelings for Catherine Hahn and Aubrey Plaza separately, let alone as a ship. What's going through your mind during this scene?
I just can't, what are they doing to me? How could Marvel do this to me personally? It's shocking. It's not only the look, because the look was the first thing I tweeted when the episode ended, but it's also how much Rio defends Agatha throughout this episode in terms of when it comes to her mother, because when it comes to I'll slit her throat, I don't care, but when it comes to her generational mom trauma, I will defend her to the that's love. That is some hardcore deep love.
Yes.
Every time she defended her, I was like, ugh. And the fact that it came after that longing stare, I can't believe we didn't get one of those look back, didn't see you look backs, because of how you know what I mean.
Well, they had to keep this to under 25 minutes, so we didn't get that.
Can I
anyway?
Bringing up the runtime, I've seen some people really upset about the runtime. My friend BD, he was mad about it, and I'm like, but they packed so much in. What does it matter? Some of the best episodes in television history are 22 minutes. They did so much. I don't care that it was only 25 minutes.
I just feel it's so good. I want it to be longer,
and
I do
fair.
feel, and I think for me, 30 minutes is a sitcom. This is Buffy, Angel, Charmed. Those are hour-long shows. So it's this. My brain watching this is in Buffy mode, Vampire Diaries mode. So I want it to be an hour. I just want more. Yeah. But it's tight. It's good. Hey, you know what? I'd rather it be a really good 25 minutes than a boring hour.
Hear, hear.
Yeah.
Speaking of someone who's having a really good time, this moment with Lilia. This got me emotionally. I was touched when she said, "I haven't done this in centuries," and she was so happy after poo-pooing it, as the symbol of domesticity.
It seems her trauma is witch cliches. She's trying not to be a witch cliche. So anything that was co-opted by Halloween culture, she now hates.
I feel though because she was probably in the Salem witch trials, I think everyone she loved was probably burned at the stake. All of those very cliched witch things, I think, happened to her and took away her family, caused her pain, took away her coven. And it's just nice to see this character. I mean, yes, I know it's Patti LuPone, which has a little to do with it, but it's just really nice to see this character living, having this adventure again that she never thought she'd have.
That's beautiful.
It's beautiful. I just love Patti. Also, I've been watching old clips of Life Goes On, the old ABC drama, just to see Patti.
Yeah.
So then they're experiencing joy. So Witch's Road can't have.
And can we just talk about Teen, the color pattern of what he's wearing? Does it look familiar?
Yes, EvilJeff, you poo-pooed me when I talked about stars on jeans last week and how it was very Wiccan. This one is even closer to Wiccan.
Yes.
Yeah. They land in this cabin when they're running from the Salem 7. They come in here, and this is where I'm reminded of the TV show. I think that they're referencing Stranger Things.
Yeah,
I think it's Evil Dead.
I think, we talked about too, it's TV show and horror movie. So
yeah,
I even said this one is Poltergeist. the way that Evanora came down the stairs.
Thing came down. I felt Poltergeist. I guess it would be all of them then, but I definitely was getting Poltergeist and Evil Dead with the demons possessing Agatha. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I come from the school of Brett Manis. There's some Nightmare on Elm Street in here. The clothes, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
That poster of Aubrey Plaza, which was from this episode, was very Nightmare on Elm Street, and it was the best poster.
Wasn't she wearing Johnny Depp's outfit from the show? Yeah,
pretty close. So
the trial starts to begin, and we're starting to get a pretty ill-defined trial, but they're feeling their way through it. I'm sorry. I also wanted to mention the couch from Roseanne is there.
Is it also the blanket? Oh, the blanket. Yeah, I think I see the blanket too. Yeah.
Good
in
catch.
that corner. Yeah. It's the blanket from Roseanne, which I think was also in WandaVision. So I think they must have the same blanket.
You're kind of making me think more about the fact that them going through some decades could be some residual WandaVision stuff. I never really even thought about that, but that now it seems obvious.
Yeah.
Well, I have a theory here because you said the trial is kind of unclear.
Mm-hmm.
I don't 100% know that they passed this trial.
Yeah.
And I have a theory that I'll talk about later with that.
Ooh,
and it's
I can't
weird.
Wait.
But
I can't wait.
But yeah, okay.
So the moon phase in this one is the blood moon, and which is is when the spirit world and the real world are they're right there next to each other, and Rio surmises that this is Agatha's trial because Agatha is the one that represents spirit. This is the spirit trial, and then once Teen whips out the Ouija board, it begins. And he's very insistent. What do we think about Teen's insistence? We have to do this. We have to play the Ouija board.
Have we all noticed who finds the note and the things to start every
and the
trial?
Record? Yep, and the Ouija board.
And the wine, the note with the wine. It's all Teen.
It's getting sus. It's getting a little sus.
Yeah. Is it that he's the most invested, or is he like...
He kind of knows what's going on.
No.
It's the record.
He clearly knows more now than we thought he did. So
yeah.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. I loved the Ouija board itself. It's actually like the classic Ouija board. It says William Fuld on it, who is the father of the modern Ouija board.
Now, okay, let's pause for a second. Who did Ouija boards with sleepovers?
Oh, all the time.
100%.
I'll tell you one thing that really bothered me about the Ouija board is that, they give you examples on the box. And I remember one of the examples of questions you could ask the ghost is, will I star in my own MTV music video? Why would a ghost know that? Like, why ever? I made me so mad. I'm like, this game is bullshit. Because why would a ghost know if I'm going to star in an MTV video?
I'm the ghost of Janis Joplin. It didn't exist yet. I don't know.
I'm the ghost of Kennedy. I became a Fox News commentator.
Oh, God. If only she'd turn into a ghost. Anyway, I also will say I would push it to things. And freak everybody out.
You would push it?
Oh,
that's why you're evil.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, hey, but you know what? We had a good time.
Well, that's what Agatha does for everybody and treats us to one of the best comedic moments in the show. Agatha, the best part about the whole Mrs. Hart moment is that clearly Agatha is pushing it to Mrs. Hart because she spells out Mrs. Hart and not Sharon.
Okay, wait. I know. First, she's doing it with the wrong name, but I'm just going to tell you, I was watching this with a group of people,
I know what
and
you're
it just
say.
said MRSHAR2, and I went, Mr. Sharp?
Stop it.
I 100% thought it was
Why
Mr.
is
Sharp.
everybody saying this? Like, it was so clearly Mrs. Hart.
I mean, once it finished, but my brain did the same thing. My brain totally went there. It's embarrassing.
No, what it was? It's misogyny, because as soon as I heard
Yes.
MR, I thought Mr. And never thought, the surgeon was a woman all along. Remember stuff like
This is the doctor was the mother.
Yeah,
all over
it
again.
was that shit.
This Mrs. Shart shit. This shit.
Mr. Shart.
I knew that Agatha was faking because I know that Catherine Hahn is
Oh my God.
capable of a better Deborah Durup impression. It was a good impression, but it was an Agatha impression. It wasn't a Catherine Hahn impression. And if she was really doing it would have been better.
It would have been better. She also brings her point of view to the impression. She goes, I was just living my tiny little life. Sharon would never say that about her own life.
I know. And she's using the wrong name. So they're all like, you're faking it.
It's so funny. It's so funny. There's some great comedy bits, like when Teen's going over the rules and he's like, rule number 2, no talking over everybody.
Show me that.
Classic. Show me where it says that. In that moment, the only person who doesn't speak is Rio. She just watches them talk over one another.
Yeah. And it's also the genius of Aubrey Plaza of like, she just says like one little line and it's like the funniest thing. Like, she's
what about so her
great.
behavior in moments of danger? What are you noticing?
She's excited.
She's laughing.
And laughing.
Every
she's
time.
like, she's kind of like, ooh, someone might die. Cool.
And also it feels like she can't be harmed. Like they're falling out of the sky. She does the perfect witch's laugh while they're all screaming.
Yeah. As everyone thinks they're dying, she's just like, woo!
She goes, woo! When the ghosts start, like when everything gets loud in the cabin, she's going, ooh, all right, yeah. And everyone else is freaking out. Lilia screams, I hated this the first time. Thoughts on that?
Well, that's her trial. All of her weird thoughts are going to come back in her episode when she's traveling and bouncing through time.
I think they already have. I think when she was in the kitchen, she started screaming in the kitchen.
Oh,
in
all of those.
2.
I think in her episode, every
happened.
time she says something weird, it's going to go, that's all going to be a point in that in her trial episode.
For sure. But my point is we're already getting some of those payoffs. Like one of the things was, no, Alice, don't. Clearly that moment happened. But I want to point out, well, I'll point something out when we get there, what she says instead.
What's next?
What's next is Rio laughing, Lilia. Oh, what's next is this awful. Oh no, this was we talked about that. We talked about the impression. But then the real shit happens and Evanora appears.
Yeah.
The worst mom ever.
Can I ask your opinion on something? Because I saw some people. No, it was BD. I'm just calling out BD. Say that the effects didn't look good, but in my opinion, their effects are exactly what they should look like. Because as Jeff mentioned, Buffy, this is we're in the zone of those kinds of shows, and I think that the effects look exactly correct for a show like this. But did they bother you at all?
Not at all. In fact,
no, because I felt it was like 80s effects for an 80s theme. Yeah.
When that mist came down the stairs and then formed into Evanora, the Lopez's played music that was pulled directly from Poltergeist. I've seen Poltergeist 100 times, and when that thing is coming down the stairs, it's Poltergeist music. They're definitely leaning into that vibe, that aesthetic. This house is clean.
That dumb woman. She was, and you were wrong.
She didn't do shit.
Zelda Rubinstein.
What was her name? Pandora?
But it's interesting. She says you were born evil. Is this just a bad mom? Or was she born evil?
Bad mom. Like, Agatha,
you know what this sounds like?
I think Agatha's bad. She's a bad girl. But I've seen people online really debating like who's the villain, who's the good guy. That's not what the show is. They have layers. Sometimes people have layers. It's not all Captain America and Red Skull. Like, I think that I don't think Agatha was born evil. But I do think she's a nasty gal.
Well, it's tricky with whether or not we think she's still going to get the hero's journey. And it still could happen, but usually you thought it was going to start happening where she started showing concern for Teen, thinking it was her son. But once that starts to fall apart, then she's doubling down on badness. But I think there's still a chance. But that's the other thing with all of this. Who's good and who's evil? That's all out the window by the end of this episode. I don't know what is what.
I like that about it.
You know what?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's great. Yeah.
You know what her mom, the whole you were born evil sounds like to me? You know where I've seen
you're
that
lesbian.
before?
It's because you're lesbian.
Close.
Conversion therapy.
Close. I'm saying it. She's a mutant.
Oh, Agatha's a mutant.
And her mutant power is to suck energy from other
suck energy because that's not a normal witch
and
power.
She can't help it.
And she can't help it or control.
I got chills.
Yes.
They said Wanda was a mutant. They suggested Wanda was a mutant, and that's why that Stark bomb didn't go off.
And can we? That's the other thing is we need to retcon the Marvel comics and mom needs to become a mutant again, and then make Agatha one too in the comics because she's young now in the comics.
Jamie, what did you think about my comment about Wanda being a mutant in WandaVision?
In that episode of WandaVision when they're doing the flashbacks and Agatha's like, that bomb didn't go off because you're a witch. Like Agatha's very adamant about that happening because Wanda's a witch. And maybe there is a correlation between being a mutant and being a witch for sure. But I wouldn't say that episode alluded to Wanda being a witch or being a mutant, but I wouldn't be against it. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah. And I admit that was my read because I see that in everything.
Sure.
Because I just want mutants.
Plus, I'd love to have a mutant magic team with like Magic, Agatha,
and
Wanda, and Richter.
Yeah, and Day Tripper.
Right.
So yeah, Evanora. Ew. I do think Evanora though had a role in this trial. I cannot wait to tell you what my fucking theory of this trial is. But first, just when you really fell in love with her, Alice Wu Gulliver was killed by Agatha.
I feel like because of that line where she's like, "I feel free," I'm not 100% sure this is the end of her.
I don't think
I'm not either.
That she's really dead.
I'm not either, and I think that was the trial. I think that. So what interesting though? So instead of no, Alice, don't. I want to talk about Lilia. This is the moment where she would have yelled, "No, Alice, don't," like she did in last episode. Instead, though, she goes, "Knight of Wands." Is she saying tarot cards instead of the thing that she says? Like,
and the tarot
she should have said.
The Knight of Wands is a pure fire sign, and she's fire. So Knight is fire, Wands is fire.
And isn't Knight of Wands also like heroic, like running into trouble without care for consequence?
It's all heroism, ambition, success. Yeah, and it's all fire,
like,
which is what she represents.
Is there something happening where like instead of the thing that she's gonna say in the moment, she says it in the past, and then in the present moment, she actually spits out a tarot card instead?
Interesting.
Or in her trial, she's reading tarot. Like,
has she said other tarot cards?
She has. She said she's looked at Jennifer and said High Priestess. She said Three of Swords when something else happened.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
She keeps yelling out tarot cards in these key moments where I think she already covered them in one of her spells.
Interesting.
So can I share my theory on?
It's your show.
Trial?
Oh, do you know what the Three of Swords represents? Just to throw this out there, sorrow.
Interesting. And I want to pinpoint when she said that again. I don't remember.
Okay, but what were you about to talk about, Brett?
My theory on the trial.
Oh, okay. Well, wait, but should we talk about how it ends first?
Of course. So, Agatha, who was possessed by Evanora, which caused Alice to shoot her, which caused Agatha to absorb her power with her mutant power that she can't control, like Rogue. It's Teen, who then sees the Ouija board going nuts. There's another spirit trying to communicate something. And Teen is, "Who are you?" And it is who, EvilJeff?
It's Mr. Nicholas Scratch.
Yeah.
And he says Nicholas Scratch, right? Doesn't he say it?
He yells it out. Yeah. Wiccan yells it out.
Which means if you can't say your name because of the sigil,
then he's not Nicholas Scratch.
That is her 100% proving that he is not Nicholas Scratch. And he says goodbye. It all ends. And here is my theory.
Yeah, please.
How did all of these trials end? Going down. They went into the oven and slid down. They opened the piano. They slid down. In the beginning, when they got to the road, they went down. This thing came up and they climbed up. It's
Ooh, that's
different.
good.
I
That's
don't
good.
think that's by accident. I
That's
don't
good.
think that's by accident. It was different. It was like, oh, this doesn't seem the same.
What do you think the trial was?
Honestly, I have no idea.
It's hard because like they say it was Agatha's trial and all that, but like confronting
They
your
didn't give you the.
things, like that's why I think we're getting to this. I don't think the trial's over. I think we're still in the trial. Is basically it.
I think the trial is over, but I don't think we were given why she won, and I do think she passed because I think the trial was to stop herself from killing another witch. I think the trial was whether or not she could control her addiction to power in the moment, and she did. I think Alice is alive. That is why we saw the yellow energy in Agatha's hand fizzle out. It's because she did not get all of the power from Alice. I think that when Teen yelled Nicholas Scratch, that was not
That's
the
when
end.
she stopped.
That was the means to the end. I think
For
the
her to
end
stop
was,
doing it.
can you stop? Because that was
Right.
Nicholas's message. Stop. What did Evanora do? Evanora was there to make her fail the trial. Evanora kept jumping in her. Why? So the witches would shoot her. So that she would kill them and take all their power. Nicholas wanted her to pass.
Right.
Nicholas said,
Smart.
Nicholas's one message was stop. And she did right at the buzzer.
I agree with this.
So she
Yes.
passed.
Okay. Okay. If the trial is over, then I think that maybe the end part is maybe we're in a Lilia vision. I have trouble saying her name.
Lilia.
Lilia.
I keep calling her Labia.
Yeah, labia works.
Yeah.
What so you think we're in the vision
I
when?
think maybe only when Billy sucks them all in, because like it seems like they're gone, but that can't be the case, right? They have to get out somehow. But also, where's Rio in the end?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting also that the next trial. Well, we still have an Earth trial left, and Teen shot them into the Earth. I wonder if that is kind of the segue into the next trial. The Earth trial would have to be Rio's, right? By definition.
But Rio wasn't even there. Did we even see? I didn't go back to watch it. Did we see Rio leaving?
No, Rio stayed with the dead body. Well, I don't think it's a dead body, but
okay. So
I think Rio
bet
had
you,
work to do.
yeah. And I think
Rio had
probably when
business.
because she was going to probably take her over, but then she's not dead, and so then and then she'll bring her back. Okay, are we going to start talking about
one sec, because I think that I really do think that there is
talk about me?
I think there is an addiction story happening with Agatha. I really do. I think that I think
addiction.
Agatha Harkness is
Porn
I think she's an
addiction.
addict.
Wait, what? No, sorry. Okay.
I think she's an addict.
Power
And
addiction.
I think I really think that's what we're dealing with Agatha Harkness. I think there is an addiction story here. I think she is addicted to that power. I think she also can't control it like Rogue. And I think a lot of this is her getting dominion over that power and that hunger.
Right.
Okay. Now we can talk about this moment. So can we talk about one of the best line reads in Marvel history?
Are you sure?
Oh, girl, bitch. Wow.
Okay, so let's start with the theories. She went
She sees it.
What broke it? And what broke it?
Brought it on.
I'll tell you. I
want to hear what I have theories as well.
They were in a standoff, and she was she was being tempting and corrupting, and he was standing there unshakable. He was a hero. He was an Avenger, and he was like, no. And she saw it in his fucking eyes. She was looking right at him. They were in a standoff. It all clicked. She went right back to the standoff against Wanda. She saw the same thing in this kid's eyes, and this face is her realizing it.
I have another theory.
Yes.
And this is not my theory. It's a theory I saw on TikTok.
Great.
But when Sharon Davis was dead, we don't see we all assume that, it's because she drank 2 things of wine. It's not because they forgot to put her hair in. Could it also be that she was killed? Because Teen is the one burying her. And she looks over and she's like, you think she's talking to Sharon Davis. And she goes, I didn't think you had it in you. And Teen goes, what? And then she goes and winks at him.
Oh, shit.
And I think she's like, oh, my son's a killer. It's cool. I'll keep your little secret that you killed her. It's fine. And now she's like, wait, you're not my son, but you have power. And wait, oh, fuck. The only person you could be is Wanda's kid.
You also look strangely like that young child I spent some time with a couple years ago.
Then there's that. Yeah. Like, oh, remember when I was choking you with the magic string?
I don't think he looks like that kid. I think, because like in the comics, because he also said, he's like, some weird things happened to me when I was 13. I think the soul of Billy entered. I bet you that kid was like a 13-year-old that was probably dying or committing suicide or car accident, and his soul entered him.
The newspaper headline in the closing credits: near death in Westview.
I think you're totally right, but I still think he looks like the kid. Because in my reading
you think
today,
all twinks look alike?
Yeah, you're right. I do. Because when Billy and Tommy find each other, they look alike, right? Like they're twins, and I think that has to do with something. The fact that they look alike. I do think that even though he's Billy Kaplan, Maximoff, working transference thing, I still think he looks like the kid. Like, I do think they cast him. I think they cast Locke because he looks like Julian Hillard. I even, no matter what, I think they look alike.
That's possible.
It's possible. Hey, I wanted to also recognize our listener and friend of the pod, Cody, who that theory about Agatha's trial, about it being about her power, came out in a conversation with him, and I want to give him some credit for that.
You go,
so thank you, Cody. I also thought "Are you sure?" is a reference to Multiverse of Madness, because like I think she sees Wanda in his eyes, and then he's like, I don't want corrupt power, and she thinks back to everything his mother just did in Multiverse of Madness, and she goes, "Are you sure?"
I don't think she knows though about any of that yet.
Oh, that's right. She's technically been in the dark, under the spell.
Yeah,
so I don't. Did anyone even tell her that Wanda? Well, I guess she know, but I think. But did anyone ever? But she saw. Wait, she
Mayor
saw
of Westview. In Mayor of Westview,
well, she saw that she was dead, but I don't think she knows the story behind it.
I mean, I think if she was experiencing those flashbacks, it's in her brain somewhere that Wanda's done.
But I also don't think Wanda's dead. So
no,
there's that.
Okay. So anyway, she goes, "Come on, pet." And then all of a sudden we see Jen and Lilia grab her by the arms.
With opaque eyes.
Yeah, what's going on there with them eyes?
Well, you see him doing this.
Yeah.
So it looks like he is controlling them.
You see blue energy coming out of Teen's hands, and I think, yes, he's controlling. Which, that's some powerful magic.
And they throw. Well, I mean, he technically in WandaVision, he was showing telepathy. So that whole mind control thing, I can see that being like part of his. That was
Wanda's first power.
But the thing that's interesting is he has them throw her into the ground. She gets sucked in, but then he fucking throws them in too. Lilia and Jen.
It's like his anger over. I mean, I think that happens with his mom at some points, right?
He gets mad. I also think he's moving them. I think he's moving them into the next trial. I think he's getting them into the Earth trial. He could just be like, because he's the one who's like, go, we got to do this. We got to do this next. We got to do that next. He's like, all right, next. We passed it. All right, go.
And so and then that's, do you have another picture? Do you have the picture of
I have the picture. Oh, then everyone walk us through. How are you feeling? What were you doing? What were you? Oh my God. Yes.
Oh, that's
Jamie.
awesome.
Jamie's showing us her tattoo of Wanda's eyes.
I think the thing that's crazy now is I'm so much like I need to know, like, who's the real teen? Was all of it fake, or is it real? And he's like, has the power makes him evil, or is he evil? Is he good? There's so many questions. But the one question that is answered, and I saw this with a group of friends, and my one friend already knew that I knew who the fuck this was. And he was like, well, like, oh, so you're not spoiled with anything? And I'm like, no, don't spoil me anything. But I was like, I know there's a big spoiler. And he's like, oh yeah, because it's the whole Billy thing. And I'm like, stop saying stuff. And he's like, it's like not what you think. And I was like, shut up. What? And then I'm like, it is what I think. And he's like, ha ha ha. I was like, yeah, fucker.
Can I say, when this happened, I was watching with Tony, my boyfriend, and literally it ended.
Hi, Tony.
And he was, hi, Tony. He was like, who's that? And I was like, it's Wiccan. And he goes, who's Wiccan? And I was like, Wanda's son. He's like, oh. And I'm like, okay, first of all, you read comics. You've seen WandaVision many times, and you're on the internet. How did you not only not know it was coming, but not know when they showed it? I don't know, like, what plane of existence he was on, but I couldn't believe it. That not only he didn't know it was coming, but he didn't get it. I was shocked.
Wild. Tony. Yeah. Come on.
And the thing is that, yeah, poor Tony.
I know. It's the straight people brain, I think, when it comes to shows like this. It's what it is.
Yeah.
That's why he's not invited on this podcast.
He's Agatha Harkness at the end of episode 3. It's like, who? My thing is that he looks great. I love it. But I need this next episode.
I know.
I need this next episode.
This happened like when the blue magic started coming out of his fingers. I was like, oh, okay. And then and then they hit that Billie Eilish. I started sobbing.
Billy. They immediately Eilish. Go to Billy. I mean, all on purpose. It's like so
just
fucking great.
The drip, the swag, of. Not only did they just give us Wiccan when we least expected it, but it's cunty. Like,
can I say,
really? You should see me in a crown?
I didn't really know that song. Brett will tell you, I don't know music very well. Like, I didn't, and so, like, I was like, oh, okay, I looked it up. Great, that's why the internet's freaking out. But I saw a tweet today where somebody, like, who hated it was like, and they used an outdated song. And I've never felt so old in my life, where somebody called that song from 20.
Oh, my God.
An outdated song. Like, ugh, I felt so gross reading that.
Also, yeah, just the fact that they didn't get that it was literally referencing Billy. This shit outdated song. They did the yeah yeahs before, which was before that.
This is a very young person being stupid. Is really all I can chalk it up to. But it really made me gave me an ick to read.
Nobody listens to Billie Eilish anymore. Oh God, really?
Well, the fact that I know if now Billie Eilish is for all, because I already got mad when people were like, oh my God, people, like the ancient gays, how they loved Lady Gaga, and I was like, that's what the old gays listen to. What about Madonna? And they're like, who? And you're like, no.
Madonna's not real.
I mean, now looking at her, I don't think she is real.
No, that's true. So we have Wiccan. Like, what do we think? Is
here's
he aware?
The thing. What he originally said? I want to get powers. That was why I want to go on the road, to get powers. Is it to bring his mom back?
100%.
I think.
So is she showing up at the end of this? Do you think she's going to be in this?
I did a Twitter poll, and it was yes, no, or undecided. About 600 people voted. Yes won by a bit of a margin. I'm still personally undecided, but I do think at this point, like, she has to. But I won't be mad if she doesn't. But I lean yes, but undecided.
I just always feel that the Marvel TV shows are really bad at having the big players make an appearance. And so I'm scared that she won't, but I really want her to.
Well, Sam Jackson showed up at the end of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 1, so you never know.
You just never know.
But that was for network TV.
Yeah.
So Billy
How
Kaplan.
many more episodes? What episode is this? 5? How many more episodes?
There's 4 more. There's 4 more, but they're dropping 8 and 9
more
the
weeks.
same
So
day.
8 and 9 is in the final. So there's just
8
3
and 9
more
will
weeks.
drop on the 30th.
3 more weeks. Oh.
Like 2 more. Or like no, 3 more TV weeks, yeah. You want to get into some predictions? You want to just open the floor to your theories on kind of where? Do you like my graphic?
Amazing. Beautiful work.
By the way, that is the real Lilia Calderou from the comics.
Great.
And so she's kind of like belly dancey-ish, and she's got zills, by the way, in the comics.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. My predictions, I will say, I think my predictions are that, here's my prediction, is Billy's going to go like kind of Wanda evil, and Agatha's actually going to have to turn good to stop him from turning evil, and so they're like going to have to both turn good.
Yeah. Yep.
That's my thing. But I also, the one thing I don't have a prediction of is I don't know who's going to make it to the end. I know Tina and Agatha will make it to the end. I'm assuming Aubrey Plaza will, because I don't think she can die. But I don't know if these other ladies are going to make it, and I don't want to see either of them die.
I do think that we are bound for a Lilia self-sacrifice. Doesn't it feel that way?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I think Alice was so sad, because Alice is a lot younger than everyone else. Like, because I think Alice is like her actual age, whereas
your age, everyone else is like hundreds of years old.
Right.
And so it's easier to see someone who's been around for centuries go than someone who is like only 40.
And to the point of Patti LuPone living her best life on that broomstick, like, she had her one last big adventure, like one she never thought she would get to do.
Well, also, I think because she's going back and forth from all these timelines, I think she kind of knows what's going to happen.
Right? Isn't that the ultimate fate of the clairvoyant? Like, they're seeing their own death.
Or like, do you ever watch Lost? Do you ever watch Lost? That one character that like he
Desmond?
just knew when he was good. Devin, yeah.
Desmond.
Oh, Desmond.
My nephew is named after that character. So
what?
Yeah.
That's
so I know that name.
Weird.
Yeah. I mean, it was inspired by.
So what's your prediction, Brett?
Well, so EvilJeff, you were kind of getting to it, like, and Jamie, you were saying before, like, not everything is Captain America. This is a Marvel Disney show, after all, though. Like, but I agree with you, Jamie. Are we getting a big fight at the end, or like, if not, what would the equivalent be? Is it going to be this moral dilemma that you're talking about, Jeff? But like, what is the big Act 3 climax going to be? What do you think?
I feel like that's a good question. I don't know. I do think, though, I want to stress, like, when it comes to, is Billy evil, is he good? I don't think it's that black and white for any of these characters.
For either of them. So that's why, if it comes to Billy versus Agatha, I don't know who's the good guy and who's the bad guy.
I think it's a little bit of both, a little everything. But I could foresee Agatha stepping up to help. And like, it all comes down to, the Witch's Road all comes from that James Robinson run, right? Where it is Agatha, Ghost Agatha, helping Wanda down the road. And it feels like the roles are very reversed in a lot of ways, and maybe it's going to end with Ghost Wanda. Even though I don't think she's dead, but I'm just throwing out theories that, maybe she is dead.
Projection.
And they're going to bring her back to, something. Yeah.
I have a question. What happened to the Darkhold? Was it destroyed?
And it was destroyed all through time and reality. Yeah.
But here's the thing. People that go into the Darkhold get the dark fingers. And there's that moment where Billy is like, oh, this is just nail polish. Is it?
Oh.
Or does he have access to the Darkhold powers?
Or is it just dark arts? Like, does that still... Yeah. Without the book.
Because that's what I think he is playing with the dark arts. And that's why
see him forming... We see him forming a pentagram in one of the like trailers or previews. And pentagrams are, they're not something you fuck with.
No.
Here's another question. Rio. So Rio feels like she's bound to duty and obligation. Like Rio said, I have a job that I needed to do and she didn't want me to, but I had to do it anyway. And, that was alluding to their history. So if Rio has an obligation, that means she must answer to someone. Who does Rio answer to?
I mean, it feels like it has to be Mephisto. Just with everything. Like
I know, but it's every time you say it, you're like, but it's always the red herring. But it does seem like it has to be it.
I've been saying this a lot because ever since the name drop in episode 3, because in the WandaVision era, that's all we did every week. Mephisto, and I feel like they could be messing with us because, but there are so many rumors that Sacha Baron Cohen is Mephisto and all this stuff, and it feels like he's gonna show up in the show. It really feels like it's finally time because no one's happy about Ralph Boner. They owe us a Mephisto.
Also, Mephisto is who created Billy and them. You know what I mean? In the comics, it's like, if you're going to do it, this is the time.
This is the time.
This is the time.
Yeah. And there is a Chekhov's Mephisto hanging out there. Yeah. But you're right. It could be a bit.
Which I love too. I love that. If they're like, F you guys, we're going to dangle fake Mephisto till the end of time. I think that's funny.
Yeah. But I will say this, and EvilJeff, he's so sick of me talking about Fortnite. But because, Emma Frost is now a playable character in Fortnite. Which
God.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So every Halloween, they drop Fortnite mares and they introduce all these scary characters. And there's 4 new characters. And guess who one of them is?
Mephisto?
Mephisto.
Yeah.
Does he look like Sacha Baron Cohen?
He looks like sexy Mephisto. When Mephisto looks sexy in the comics, he's given body, he looks like that Mephisto.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Just saying he's getting a push in some video game.
That's interesting. I saw a tweet about that, and I also did a pause.
So...
Also, do you think they purposely dropped those Funko Pops early? That kind of revealed the names of everybody? Or
no,
was that a
I'm pissed about that. I'm so mad
about
that.
Do you think somebody got fired over that?
It happens every time with something.
And also, do we need Funko Pops? Do we can we end it? Because they're spoiling everything.
But I don't care.
What do we need it for?
I don't get it.
There's
Funko Pops. I treasure your Funko Pop you gave me. Do you remember which one you gave me? You gave me Diamond Patch, which is a merger of it's Emma Frost and Wolverine.
I have lots of Wandas and Agathas, and up here I have a Buffy, but there's too many of them.
Jamie, do you know about Diamond Patch? Are you dying right now that all the heroes in the Marvel universe got paired up and combined? And the two that got combined were Emma and Logan got combined into this person.
And so it's a gay Wolverine.
Amazing.
It's a gay Wolverine called Diamond Patch.
That's amazing.
Who acts like Emma Frost.
Yeah, it's basically Wolverine, but acting like Emma Frost. Oh my God.
And when they all got separated again, they retain their memories. And Emma goes, "Oh my God, was I just merged with Logan? And did I love it?" She loved being Diamond Patch.
I love that. Can I say it's been a minute since I've read a comic. I just haven't in a little while, and because I rewatched all of X-Men the animated series, I now read Wolverine in Cal Dodd's voice. I don't do that with any other comic character. That does not happen. But with Wolverine, that's what I hear in my head, and it's weird because everyone else is just kind of a mushy Jamie brain voice, but Cal comes out, and it's interesting that happens.
Yeah, I think I do too. Yeah, because that's what it needs to sound like.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to circle back to something we hit at the top, and it's along the lines of predictions of where this is going. And before I do, I just want to say I think that we are going to see Agatha become the Agatha Harkness of the comics, which is essentially a nanny. And I do think that we are going to see Agatha choose Billy over power and then wind up helping Billy. She's going to be his guardian. I don't think Wanda's showing up, but I think that this will enable the search for Wanda to truly happen with Agatha guiding and helping Billy.
It feels like she's going to be the Magneto of the Children's Crusade.
100
or the Young Avengers. She'll be the Young Avengers. Which
What a
maybe
great
if
segue.
we're all wondering if Wanda's going to show up. Do we think Tommy will show up by the end of this?
I think that's more likely.
Mm.
That
Or
we'll
what
get a
if that's
Tommy.
the reveal? What if the reveal is it's like, you're here to bring your mother back? And he's like,
Nope.
no, I'm
here to
get
find my brother
back.
That'd be cool.
I would
And who would
freak
play him?
out.
But
Like-
but as you said in the children, it looks like him. Would he play both parts?
No, I don't think because the WandaVision kids are different. So they're not identical in this universe. So why would he?
Who's another British kid that we can bring in? It can't be Kid Connor because he needs to be Hulkling.
He'll be Hulkling.
Honestly,
and they have to have sex.
I love Heartstopper. I just started watching Heartstopper, and I can't deny he would be really good. He'd be really good.
Right?
As
He
Hulkling?
looks like Teddy.
Reading
Yeah.
Reading this today, I was like, I
Yeah.
see the vision,
Ooh,
no pun intended.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
But who would
Yeah.
be Speed? I have no idea who would be. I don't know young actors.
And you know
I-
what? That's good because we'd be
Yeah.
creeps if we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I will say I'm obsessed with. Oh no, he's too old. I'm obsessed with that guy from Grotesquerie and the Menendez brothers. Anyway, we don't need to talk about Nicholas
Oh
Alexander
wait, which
Chavez.
one? Because I have gossip.
Nicholas Alexander Chavez. Oh my
The-
God.
The taller, thinner one, the one that's not
No,
as,
the
like-
shorter, more muscly
Oh,
one.
you like that one? Oh, because I have gossip about the taller one.
On Cooper Koch.
Yeah,
Ooh.
he's on a friend's. He plays gay volleyball, and
Uh-huh.
he's very mean.
Oh.
Like he'll
Wow.
purposely try to
You heard
spike
it
and
here.
hit people, and he'll be like, and he'll like try to like razz people and fuck with them.
Oh,
And
we
everyone's like, we're
always
just here to play fun gay volleyball.
we
Calm
always
down.
have weird obscure tea on like D-list celebrities.
That's
We
why you're
always do.
comic book queers. Like that's
Yeah.
the niche.
Yeah,
is
that's the
there.
thing. He's in New York, so he gets the New York celebrities, and
Right.
I'm in LA, so I get the LA celebrities.
Right.
But yeah, he's too young. But yeah, I would love to see if Tommy showed up.
You're both in Hollywood, by the way.
Oh, I'm in Sherman Oaks
Um,
now.
J-
but-
Jeff's in
but
North.
we
Jeff's
can
in
do
I'm in
Hollywood.
North Hollywood.
Oh,
No, I'm
really?
North Hollywood, so I'm close. Yes.
Oh wow!
Mhm.
Oh well, this
Mhm.
a
Yeah.
real life friendship could be forming right now as we speak.
Yay!
Ooh! So we have the Children's Crusade graphic up. Like, do we think like we've got Doom in the mix? We've got Scarlet Witch in the mix. We've got Billy. Like, are we doing this?
Okay, all I can say is, for the love of God, if they make RDJ marry Elizabeth Olsen, I'll kill myself. Please, Feige, cut that out. I want to see a lot of
God.
what's going on in this comic, but if I have to see RDJ and Elizabeth Olsen like be mushy together, I will vomit. I just don't want it. Do not want that. Push it aside. But anything else from this comic, I'd be interested in. And I really like the Iron Lad stuff and how Iron Lad becomes Kang, and that obviously
Very Kang.
yes, but we don't have Kang anymore, and even if we did have Kang, I don't think they would have done that because we're way beyond that storyline.
What if?
Well,
what if,
I
yeah, go
also
ahead.
think. Well, I would say I also think Iron Lad isn't going to be Kang because of Kang, but also we have Iron Heart,
Oh yeah.
and so she's going to take the place
yeah.
of Iron Lad.
Do Riri
So I don't think.
instead
I think all of that.
Yep.
I think all of that will just go away. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's just so many of them are already there. Because who do we have? We have Stature.
Mm-hmm.
We
have
have
Kate Bishop.
Patriot.
Kate.
We have Kate.
I
we
don't know.
have
Do we have
Wiccan.
Patriot? Do we have Patriot?
Well,
Like, if
He's
we-
showing up in the new Captain America movie. Has a part in the new Captain America movie.
All
That's not-
right.
Mhm.
He was honestly kind of annoying in this.
Yeah.
But then I felt bad for him.
Yeah,
and he
he's-
like,
yeah.
then I felt bad for him, and he left the team, and I was like, "No, don't leave. I feel bad for you now."
Yeah,
But-
he's kind
and
of
then-
sadly the least important of all the of
I
all the
did-
Avengers.
I knew this, but like Cassie dying, I could see that
Yeah.
happening
Yeah.
in the MCU, which is sad.
Yeah.
And then there's we also have, I think, who's not in these but in later ones, America Chavez and Kid Loki. They have all made appearances too, and they
Yeah.
all different versions of that could show up as well.
EvilJeff, do you remember who wrote that Young Avengers 2 with the second team, that great run? Was that wasn't Alan Heinberg again? It was someone else.
I thought it was
But-
a woman.
Maybe. But Jamie, you have to read after Children's Crusade, you have to read Young Avengers 2 when they have a new lineup where it's Kid Loki, America Chavez, one of the former X-Men kids called Prodigy. It is fantastic. And Billy and Teddy, it's
Cool.
fantastic.
And then that's where eventually Prodigy comes out as bi, and then Tommy ends up dating him. So Tommy ends up coming out as bi.
Tommy comes out as bi.
My people.
Yes.
I will say, like, I crushed through this today. I loved it. Like, sometimes
it's fantastic.
It's
also, the art is so good.
Yeah.
The art is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Have you read the original run? The original run of the Young Avengers?
I have not.
Or how they all form? Read that too. It's the same artist, and it's great.
Okay.
It's also really funny that
this does a really good job of keeping you like updated. Like it's a quick like this is what it is.
You can
and
jump
I appreciate that because in WandaVision era I read so many Wanda comics, and sometimes that meant not understanding what was happening.
Oh yeah.
So
EvilJeff, do you remember what Wiccan's name was before in that original Young Avengers before he changed it to Wiccan?
Asgardian.
Billy Kaplan was the Asgardian, and finally someone was like, for a gay man, you probably don't want to be called the Asgardian.
That's amazing.
Well, but it's also he needed to change it because he was pretending to be the Thor of the group, but his powers weren't thunder.
Right.
Do you think so?
But he's not even Wiccan He's not even Wiccan anymore.
Is he the Demiurge?
The Demiurge.
Isn't that what he's like destined to become still?
Oh, but he's not calling himself that yet?
No, he's Wiccan still.
I mean, I would. I want my name to be French.
Do you guys think because we know, like, we're all waiting for the Hulkling relationship, do you think that his current boyfriend is like anybody, or that he's just going to have to break up with him at some point?
That boyfriend is dead. No, I don't know.
Well, evidently next episode is a Billy flashback, so I think we'll see more of the boyfriend.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Where he's like, why do you act like a completely different person now?
Right. Ever since the car accident, you've been very weird.
Oh my god! Or what if the person whose body took over wasn't gay? Have you ever heard this? There's a guy in Britain who had a head injury and became a flaming homosexual, and before that, he was like a mechanic. He was like a super butch mechanic. Like, yo, what's up? Got into a car accident, had a head injury, and was like, "Hey girls, what's happening?"
I think that
and I love that for him.
He wanted an excuse to be his true self.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, I can finally.
Isn't that a John Waters movie?
I don't know. I actually wrote a pilot. About a guy who nobody paid attention to, and he got a head injury and pretended he had a British accent and just pretended that he had that disorder.
Well, on that bizarre note, oh my gosh, Jamie, thank you so much.
Thank
for
you.
Being on.
This was wonderful.
What a dream. And EvilJeff, this was Jamie's first going in blind episode. Jamie is member of the press, and she had seen the first 4 a while ago. Yeah, so this was Jamie's first going in new. Yeah.
But I made sure I watched it twice so that I've seen everyone twice, so that when it ends, I can log it on Letterboxd twice. That's
there you go.
Nice.
Wait, you can log Letterboxd twice? You can log it more than once?
Anything you want, like if you watch, rewatch stuff all the time, so it's a rewatch kind of a thing. Not like per episode.
Oh, I didn't even realize you could do. I didn't realize you could do rewatches. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Because it's a limited series, so it counts. If it was a show with multiple seasons, it wouldn't be on there.
Oh, okay.
Fair. I did put Fall of the House of Usher on there. I broke my rule.
And that counts. Whatever. I count the limited series. If it's on there, I count it. That's my thing.
Love it. Well, thank you so much. It is always a pleasure to have you on, friend. And I'll see you next week at the wedding in Chicago, which is so wild.
I'll see you next week. Yes.
Yay. EvilJeff, as always, thank you so much for putting your foot into this. By this, I mean my ass. Thank you, Wanda, for being part of it. Wanda didn't say shit, by the way.
She's just watching.
She's just watching. She's biding her time. She's waiting. And Jamie, I did want to tell you to be careful reading that comic book. Because you know what happens when you read comics, right?
What happens?
When you read comics, well, that makes you
queer.